Somewhere on your credit card statement right now, um, there is probably a ghost,
Yeah, almost certainly.
right? Just this small, super boring sounding charge. Maybe it's a dollar, maybe it's 29 rupees, or like
Right, you've
€3.
probably been paying it every single month since, what, 2022?
Exactly. For an app you literally deleted years ago. Or, I mean, maybe it's not a ghost. Maybe it's this massive jarring deduction that just hits you right in the chest when you wake up.
Oh, the $100 surprise charge.
Yeah, draining $100 for a service you absolutely swore you canceled.
Yep.
We have all been in that exact scenario. You're just sitting on your couch. You want to watch one specific documentary,
Hmm.
or or maybe you just need to edit a single PDF for a presentation that's due in an hour.
You're in a rush. Yeah.
Right. And you see it. The magic words, 7 days free.
Such a powerful phrase.
It really is. You think, perfect,
Yeah.
I'll sign up, get what I need, and just cancel before I pay a dime.
But then a week goes by?
A week goes by, the cancellation just slips your mind, and suddenly you're looking at your banking app and the trap has snapped shut.
And you're trapped.
You are. So today, we are tearing down the multi-million-dollar industry that is entirely designed to build those exact traps.
It's a massive industry.
Huge.
Yeah.
We've got a massive stack of research today detailing the mechanics, the deeply rooted psychology, and really the absolute best defense strategies against what the industry quietly refers to as subscription trap frauds.
It's a great topic for us to dig into today.
Definitely. The mission for this deep dive is to equip you with the exact knowledge you need to spot these traps from a mile away. We're going to understand the shady engineering operating behind the scenes and learn how to lock down your finances so you never get caught out again.
Because it happens to everyone.
It really does. Okay, let's unpack this, because the more I dig into this research, the more I realize that the modern free trial has essentially become a digital roach motel for your credit card.
A roach motel? I love that comparison. It's so accurate.
Right. I mean, it is totally frictionless to get your financial details in there.
Yeah.
They make the entry process as smooth as glass, but trying to get those details out, trying to actually cancel and leave.
It's an absolute maze.
It's possible.
It is entirely by design. And, anyone listening who has been caught in one of these situations needs to understand that falling for this, it isn't a failure of intelligence.
No, not at all.
Right. It is not about being gullible. You are interacting with digital systems, user interfaces, and marketing funnels that are meticulously engineered to bypass human scrutiny.
They are actively working against your brain.
Exactly. These systems exploit our cognitive biases, our desire for seamless convenience, and just our general tendency to rush through digital roadblocks to get what we want.
We just want to get to the thing.
Right. And what's fascinating here is that when you strip away the branding of these shady companies, you realize the actual product, like the movie streaming app or the fitness tracker or the AI photo editor, that's completely secondary.
Wait, really? The app isn't the product?
No, it's just the bait. The primary product, the actual core business model driving their revenue, is the subscription trap itself.
Wow. So the product isn't the app. The product is the trap.
That's the reality.
That completely flips how we need to look at the App Store.
Yeah.
I mean, if the trap is the actual product, how is it manufactured? Walk me through the architecture of this thing from the moment I see an ad.
Well, the research breaks this down into a highly predictable 4-step blueprint. The first phase is what they call the irresistible lure.
The lure. Yeah.
Okay. This is all about generating immediate excitement to short-circuit your critical thinking. The hooks are everywhere. You see them all the time.
Oh, yeah. Like 7 days free.
Right, or 1 month premium free, or try now, no cost. And we are seeing a massive surge right now with generative AI.
Oh, completely. AI, tool-free access, stuff like that.
Exactly. The objective is to lower your defenses using the single most powerful word in consumer psychology, which is free.
Free. It just
Yeah.
it works every time.
It does. Because when the human brain encounters that word, it typically just stops looking for the catch. The friction vanishes.
Because there's supposedly no risk, right?
Exactly. The architects of these traps know that if they can get you focused on the instant gratification of the free item, you won't pause to consider the long-term implications of clicking that button.
Right. I'm just thinking about the immediate problem I need to solve. Like, I need to edit this PDF right now. I'm not thinking about my billing cycle next month.
Yeah, no one is.
But that brings up the wall we all eventually hit. I click the free button, I download the app, but before I can actually use the thing, there's a toll booth.
Yep. Step 2.
Suddenly, the app demands my credit card details. Or it asks for debit card verification. Or depending on where you live, it might ask you to enable Apple Pay or a direct debit mandate or systems like UPI AutoPay in India.
Often just asking for a tiny, seemingly insignificant payment.
Right, like a single dollar or a 1 rupee verification.
Right.
But wait, hold on. If the service is genuinely free, why do they need my card at all?
That's the crucial question.
Is there any legitimate non-scam reason for a company to ask for a credit card verification on a free trial?
Actually, there is a legitimate technical reason, which is exactly why the trap is so effective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it hides inside a normal banking behavior. Legitimate companies use a process called tokenization, or microcharges, to verify that a user is a real person with an active account.
Okay, so just to prove I'm not a robot.
Exactly. It prevents automated bots from creating 10,000 free accounts and crashing their servers. Think of it like leaving your ID at the front desk of a building.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right. They aren't charging you. They just need to know you're real. So they will authorize a $0 charge or take a tiny amount and immediately refund it.
Okay, so that's the legitimate version.
Right. However, predatory apps hijack this exact same legitimate mechanism for a completely different purpose. This is step 2, the data grab.
The data grab.
When you approve that tiny verification, you are not just proving your card is real, you are unknowingly authorizing a recurring payment mandate.
Oh, wow. So I think I'm just verifying my identity, but I'm actually handing them the keys to my bank account.
Precisely. You are establishing a pipeline. The developers know that if a screen popped up asking you to authorize a $50 monthly charge right then and there...
I'd immediately close the app.
Exactly. But a $0 authorization or a 1-cent ping.
Your brain classifies that as harmless.
Completely harmless. You authenticate it with your fingerprint or Face ID without a second thought. And the moment you do, the data grab is complete.
But wait, they can't just take that pipeline and start siphoning money illegally, right?
Right.
They have to have some kind of legal cover, otherwise Visa or MasterCard would shut them down overnight.
And that brings us to step 3, the invisible contract. This is where the legal cover is generated.
Ah, the terms and conditions.
Yes. Buried deep within walls of tiny, unreadable text or hidden behind vague hyperlinks at the bottom of the screen are the actual terms of the engagement.
The stuff nobody ever reads.
Exactly. These clauses dictate that the free trial automatically renews into a paid subscription. They state that a monthly plan, or sometimes an incredibly expensive yearly plan, activates the very second the trial expires.
So they just sneak it in there.
Yes, and they ensure that auto-debit remains continuously enabled. And they explicitly mandate that any cancellation must happen strictly before the trial period ends.
Which is, I mean, they know nobody is reading that.
They rely entirely on the reality of modern digital life, which is that no one reads the terms of service. We have all been conditioned by years of internet usage to blindly click the pop-up. I agree, just to make the pop-ups go away.
Just to get to the next screen.
They weaponize our digital fatigue.
It's the biggest lie we all tell every single day. I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions. If we actually read them, we'd never get any work done.
We'd be reading all day.
Seriously. So the trap is set. We took the lure. We handed over the data pipeline. We unknowingly signed the invisible contract. What is the final step?
Step 4 is the silent strike.
The silent strike. That sounds ominous.
It is. The trial period ends and the automatic deductions execute. These can range from a few dollars to $50 or even a massive yearly charge of $100 or more. But the brilliance and really the malice of the strike lies in its timing. The data shows that these deductions are frequently programmed to occur at midnight or in the very early hours of the morning local time.
Oh, that is incredibly sneaky. Because think about how we wake up.
Right.
You roll over, you groggily grab your phone, and you have dozens of notifications.
There's so many notifications.
You have work emails, group chat messages, news alerts, social media tags, and somewhere buried deep in that digital avalanche is a single push notification from your bank saying a charge was processed.
And you are half asleep.
Exactly. You're just swiping right to clear your screen so you can see your text messages, and you completely forget about it by the time you step into the shower.
That is exactly the intended user journey. They are counting on that morning notification avalanche to bury the evidence of their strike. Because if they charged you at 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday while you were actively using your phone...
I'd see the alert pop up right in front of my face.
Right. You'd immediately recognize you forgot to cancel and you'd call your bank to dispute it. But by striking in the middle of the night, they build a delay into your reaction time.
That's so manipulative.
Days or weeks might pass before you actually sit down to review your statement and realize the money is gone. This silent, delayed execution is the linchpin of the whole operation.
Okay, so that is the four-step blueprint. The lure, the data grab, the invisible contract, and the silent strike.
Yep, that's the anatomy of the trap.
We know how it operates mechanically,
Mm.
but where are we most likely to step on one of these landmines? Like, what kinds of apps are actually doing this?
Well, the research maps out a specific digital minefield. It categorizes where these scams are most prevalent.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first major sector is entertainment and media.
Of course.
We are talking about movie streaming apps, premium music plans, and a particularly deceptive tactic known as hidden family plans.
Hidden family plans.
Yeah. So the entertainment sector is highly lucrative for these traps because users are usually seeking immediate passive relaxation.
Right. It's Friday night. I just want to watch a movie.
You aren't in a hyper-vigilant state of mind. You see a free month of premium, and because the perceived value of entertainment is high, you hand over the card details, fully assuming you will remember to cancel.
Which you want.
Which you won't. And the hidden family plans take this a step further. You might sign up for a single-user trial, but the default selection buried in the invisible contract actually upgrades you to a much more expensive multi-user family plan once the trial concludes.
Are you kidding me? So you just want to listen to a podcast without ads, and suddenly you're paying enough to host a radio station for your entire extended family?
Basically, yes.
That's wild. But beyond entertainment, the second category is what I found the most manipulative in the research. They call it the productivity trap.
This one is brutal.
It really is. This includes AI photo generators, video editing apps, resume builders, and PDF converters. To me, it's essentially a digital hostage situation.
That's exactly what it is.
Think about it. You download a quote-unquote free video editor. You spend 3 hours meticulously cutting clips, adding transitions, syncing the audio. You put real effort into this project.
You've invested time.
A lot of time. And then, when you finally click the export or save button, a paywall suddenly drops. The app demands your credit card for a free trial just to let you export the video. They are holding your hard work hostage.
That is a textbook exploitation of the sunk cost fallacy.
The sunk cost fallacy, right?
In behavioral economics, this describes our tendency to follow through on an endeavor if we have already invested time, effort, or money into it, whether or not the current costs outweigh the benefits.
So, because I already spent 3 hours.
The developers know that once you have invested 3 hours into a project within their walled garden, your willingness to abandon that project drops to near zero.
I'm not going to just throw the video away.
Exactly. They gatekeep the final essential function, the export, the download, the print behind the subscription trap. You feel completely cornered.
So I just hand over my card to get my file.
You enter your card details just to salvage your own labor. This is rampant with resume builders especially.
Oh, it is so messed up.
People are already in a vulnerable, anxious state looking for a job. They spend an hour typing out their work history, and then they are forced into an expensive subscription just to download their own resume as a PDF.
It's totally predatory. You're trying to get a job because you need money, and they're holding your resume hostage to take what little money you have.
It's a very dark pattern.
And speaking of vulnerable states, let's look at the third category in the minefield. Self-improvement.
Yes.
We're talking fitness apps, weight loss programs, yoga subscriptions, meal planners.
This category is built entirely around monetizing human aspiration and failure.
Wow. Monetizing failure.
It leverages a very specific psychological cycle.
Right.
The sudden burst of motivation followed by the inevitable wane.
Like New Year's resolutions.
Think about the first week of January exactly. A user feels a sudden, intense drive to get fit. These apps are waiting right there with a highly attractive, cheap, or free trial for a premium workout regimen.
And you sign up feeling like, this is the year.
The user signs up feeling optimistic and empowered. However, behavioral data consistently shows that for a large percentage of people, this initial motivation fades within a few weeks.
The gym shoes go back in the closet.
They stop opening the app. But the trap is designed so that the cheap trial seamlessly morphs into a highly expensive recurring monthly plan exactly as the user's motivation is dropping.
Oh, man. And there was a massive guilt factor baked into that.
Huge guilt factor.
If I have to go into the app and actively cancel my fitness subscription, I am basically admitting defeat.
You have to face your own failure.
I am looking in the mirror and saying, I guess I am not going to get in shape this year. So I avoid doing it. I procrastinate on the cancellation because of the psychological baggage attached to the act of canceling, and they just keep quietly billing me.
They are monetizing your procrastination and your guilt. It is a highly effective business model because it relies on the user actively avoiding the problem.
That is just bleak. Which brings us to the final category in the minefield, the accidental buyers.
Right.
We're talking about gaming memberships, battle passes, premium skins, and VIP gaming subscriptions.
This raises an important question regarding who is actually engaging with the interface.
Because it's not always the person paying.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. In the gaming category, the intended victim is often not the person holding the credit card. The targets here are frequently children playing games on their parents' tablets or phones.
I hear about this all the time from parents.
Game developers design interfaces that are bright, flashy, and engineered to encourage rapid, continuous tapping. A child is in the middle of a game, a pop-up for a VIP trial, or a legendary skin appears.
And they just smash the button.
They just tap the giant pulsing green button to make it go away so they can keep playing.
And the parents don't even know.
Because the parent's payment details are already authenticated and saved globally on the device, the subscription is activated instantly, often without requiring any secondary password or face scan.
So a 6-year-old just signed up for a $30 a month VIP pass.
And the parents only find out weeks later when the auto-renewal hits their bank statement. The companies can feign innocence, claiming it was a legitimate purchase authorized by the device.
But they know what they're doing.
The user interface was undeniably designed to facilitate accidental, frictionless clicks by minors.
Okay, so we are navigating entertainment, productivity, self-improvement, and even our kids' games. And all of them are laced with these traps. We know the steps, we know the locations. But I want to dig much deeper into the human element.
The psychology.
Yes, because if we are generally smart, capable people, why do our brains keep betraying us at the point of sale? Why do we keep falling for it?
Well, the architects of these traps rely heavily on manufacturing artificial urgency.
Okay, how so?
One of the most crude yet highly effective psychological weapons in their arsenal is the fake countdown timer.
Oh, I see those everywhere. Offer ending in 5 minutes.
You will frequently see banners screaming exactly that with a prominent ticking digital clock. When a human being sees a ticking clock attached to a perceived opportunity, it induces a state of artificial scarcity.
Like we're gonna miss out.
It triggers a mild fight-or-flight response. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing fear and urgency, activates.
And when that happens, we don't think straight.
When the amygdala lights up, your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain responsible for logical, deliberate, analytical thinking, is temporarily overridden by the panic of missing out.
So you just act.
You are forced to rush, you skip the fine print, you ignore the terms and conditions because the interface is literally telling you that you do not have the time to read them.
You literally don't have the time. The clock is ticking.
Combine this urgency with pricing tricks like only $1 for 30 days, and the psychological barrier to handing over your financial data completely collapses.
You rationalize it.
The brain rationalizes the risk. It's only $1 and I only have 4 minutes left. I have to act right now.
It is a complete hijack of your nervous system. It's exactly like a high-pressure salesperson physically blocking the door to the car dealership showroom. But it is all happening on a glowing rectangle in the palm of your hand.
It's digital coercion.
But, okay, let's say the timer worked. I panicked. I signed up.
Yeah.
But the panic fades an hour later, and a few days pass. I realize I don't need the PDF converter anymore, and I need to cancel.
This is the hard part.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The research focuses heavily on what they call the maze of cancellation.
Yes, the maze.
The asymmetry here is just staggering to me. It takes exactly one tap, a literal microsecond, to give them your money and activate the trial. But when you want to leave, when you want to find that cancel button, it is an absolute nightmare.
The disparity between the onboarding friction and the offboarding friction is entirely intentional.
Like, they make it hard on purpose.
Oh, absolutely. In the tech industry, these user interface designs are referred to as dark patterns.
Dark patterns.
They make subscribing a frictionless, one-click glide. But cancellation becomes a deliberate scavenger hunt. You have to navigate through settings, then find a submenu called account, then billing, then manage subscriptions.
And even then it's confusing.
And even when you finally locate the cancellation page, the cancel button is often rendered in faint, low-contrast gray text, while a massive, bright blue Keep My Premium Plan button dominates the center of the screen.
I have almost clicked the wrong button so many times.
They will sometimes force you to click through 3 or 4 separate warning screens. Are you sure you want to lose these amazing benefits? Wait, here is a 50% discount.
Just begging you to stay.
The goal is simply to exhaust your patience. They want you to hit a point of cognitive fatigue where you say, I can't figure this out right now, I'll deal with it later.
Which is exactly what they want.
Because they know, statistically, that later almost always turns into after the auto-renewal hits.
I have literally had to open a browser and Google how to cancel this specific app just to figure out which hidden menu they buried the button in.
It's incredibly common to have to do that.
And if you think, well, surely they have to email me before they charge me, right?
Yeah.
Give me a heads up. They have a dark pattern for that too.
Yes. The strategy of communication sabotage.
Communication sabotage. How does that work?
Legally, many jurisdictions require companies to send a reminder email before an auto-renewal executes.
Okay, so they have to send something.
To comply with the letter of the law while entirely violating the spirit of it, they format those emails strategically so that your email provider's algorithms classify them as spam or promotional material.
Wait, they want it to go to spam?
Yes. They might use specific trigger keywords, avoid using your actual name in the subject line, or send the email from a heavily filtered, obscure domain.
That is diabolical.
The result is that the reminder email goes straight into your spam or promotions folder, a digital graveyard that most users rarely check.
I never check my spam folder unless I'm looking for a password reset.
Exactly. You are never genuinely warned about the impending charge, but the company retains the legal defense that they did, technically, send a notification.
It is a multi-layered attack on your awareness. So far, we've talked about the big hits, the $50, $100 yearly deductions that ruin your morning. But there's a completely different tactic in the research that honestly scares me even more.
The microcharges.
The strategy of the hidden small charge.
Yes. While a massive yearly deduction will certainly trigger an immediate angry response from a user, these organizations have realized there is a highly profitable sweet spot of financial apathy.
Financial apathy. I like that term.
This involves the intentional use of small recurring deductions, amounts like $1.99, €3, or 29 rupees.
Just tiny amounts.
This strategy relies on the simple fact that the vast majority of people do not forensically audit every single line item on their monthly bank statements.
No, of course not.
When you see a charge for a massive amount, alarms go off. When you see a charge for $2, your brain barely registers it.
Wait, hold on though. That doesn't make sense to me.
Why not?
If I see a random $2 charge, I'm probably going to assume I bought a coffee or a pack of gum or paid for street parking and just forgot about it, so I ignore it.
Yeah.
But how is stealing the price of a pack of gum a viable business model for a sophisticated global tech operation?
It seems like too much work for $2, right?
Yeah. Going through all the effort of building the app, creating the fake timers, hiding the cancel button, that seems like way too much effort for pocket change.
You are looking at the microcharge from the perspective of a single user. To understand the viability, you have to look at the scale of the operation.
Okay, scale.
These developers aren't trying to trick one person out of $2. They are exploiting human psychology on a massive industrialized scale. They know you won't bother to dispute a $2 charge.
I definitely wouldn't.
The bureaucratic friction of calling your bank, navigating the automated phone tree, and waiting on hold for 40 minutes is absolutely not worth your time to retrieve $2.
Not at all.
But if they manage to trap 500,000 users globally, and they are quietly siphoning $2 a month from each of them,
Oh my God.
that is $1 million a month in pure, uninterrupted recurring revenue.
$1 million a month.
And because the individual amounts are so remarkably low, they rarely trigger automated bank fraud alerts, and users almost never report them. It is a perfectly camouflaged, highly lucrative revenue stream.
$1 million a month, just because 500,000 people assume it was a coffee they forgot about. It really is death by 1,000 cuts.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, to make all this abstract theory concrete, let's walk through a narrative. Let's look at the case study provided in the research. Let's talk about a guy named Rahul and what was supposed to be a 5-minute task.
This is a great example.
I want to trace the exact timeline of a trap from start to finish, looking at his emotional journey and the UI he interacts with. Here is the setup. Rahul is getting ready for a big event, maybe a wedding.
Okay.
He has a photo on his phone, and he wants to use a generative AI filter to clean up the background before he posts it. He goes to the App Store, searches AI photo editor, and downloads the first one with a high rating.
Which is what we all do.
Right. He opens the app, and the entire screen is blocked by a massive, pulsing banner. 3 days free premium trial.
There's the lure.
Below it, a tiny lock icon over the upload photo button. Rahul just wants the edited photo. He thinks, fine, I'll do the trial and cancel it right after.
The classic trap.
He enters his credit card details. He edits his photo, posts it to his social media, gets his dopamine hit of likes, and swipes the app closed. He doesn't delete it, he just closes it.
And forgets about it.
What exactly is happening on the back end while Rahul goes about his week?
The countdown has started. Rahul is now in the execution phase of the trap. According to the timeline in the case study, exactly 72 hours later, precisely after those 3 days elapse, the silent auto-debit triggers.
The silent strike.
The app initiates a charge against his card for the equivalent of about $10, activating a monthly recurring subscription.
And he doesn't know.
Because this happens silently, and likely during off-peak hours to avoid immediate detection, Rahul misses the initial bank alert.
He was probably sleeping.
Now let's advance the timeline. A week later, he's scrolling through his phone, sees the app icon, and remembers, oh right, I need to cancel that. He opens the app.
And this is where the maze begins.
Exactly. He taps the profile icon, he sees options for themes, notifications, privacy policy, but nothing that says billing or subscription.
They never make it that easy.
He taps into account settings, still nothing. He taps a tiny gear icon in the corner. Finally, he finds a faint link that says Manage Plan. Oh, he found it.
He taps it and the app throws up a pop-up. Claim your 50% discount to stay. He has to locate the tiny, no thanks, I want to cancel text.
The dark patterns in full effect.
He taps that, the screen loads, and says cancellation process initiated. You will receive an email to confirm.
Oh, I hate that. Just cancel it.
Rahul, feeling frustrated but assuming he has successfully navigated the process, closes the app.
But he hasn't, has he?
He doesn't realize that the email is going straight to his spam folder, and because he didn't click the confirmation link inside that hidden email, the subscription remains perfectly active.
Wow. And the really devastating part of this timeline is the delay in his realization. Rahul doesn't actually sit down and forensically review his bank statements until 2 full months later.
60 days.
He's looking at his digital statement, and he sees 2 separate $10 charges from a company name he doesn't even recognize because the billing name doesn't match the app name.
Of course not.
So what does this all mean? He paid $20 for a free trial to edit one single photo. And what's crucial to understand from an analytical perspective is that Rahul's delayed reaction, the fact that it took him 60 days to notice the ongoing charges, is precisely what the financial models of these companies are built upon.
They literally budget for that delay.
Their entire revenue projection relies on the assumption that a significant percentage of users will not check their statements immediately and will fail to navigate the cancellation maze on the first attempt.
They assume we will fail.
The longer the user remains ignorant or stymied by the UI, the higher the lifetime value of that trapped customer. Rahul's experience is not an anomaly. It is the designed, expected, and highly optimized outcome of the system.
It really makes you want to throw your smartphone in the ocean and go back to a flip phone.
Sometimes, yes.
But we are not going to leave you feeling helpless. We need to pivot urgently to empowerment.
Yeah.
Having thoroughly terrified everyone listening, how do we build a fortress around our wallets?
It's very possible to protect yourself.
How do we spot these things and how do we armor ourselves? Our research provides a very clear pre-flight checklist and a set of post-click defenses. Let's look at the warning signs first. What are the red flags we need to look for before our thumb ever gets near the accept button?
You need to evaluate the app environment before you engage. First, if a credit card or direct debit authorization is absolutely mandatory for a trial that claims to be completely free, your guard should instantly go up.
Because that's the data grab.
As we established, yes. Second, hunt for the cancellation options before you sign up.
Oh, that's smart. Look for the exit before you enter.
Exactly. If they are unclear, not prominently displayed in the main menu, or buried in a dense FAQ document rather than a simple accessible button, you are looking at a trap.
Just walk away.
Third, look for customer support. If you cannot find a clear support email address, a working phone number, or a responsive chat system to contact if things go wrong, absolutely do not give them your payment information. You will have no recourse.
Right, and watch out for the pressure tactics.
Your timers.
If the app is screaming at you with high-pressure pop-ups or throwing a fake countdown timer on the screen, it is actively trying to bypass your logic. Step away.
Absolutely.
If you have to dig through 3 different screens just to find out what the monthly cost will be after the trial ends, that hidden pricing is a massive warning sign.
It's a huge red flag.
So those are the environmental red flags.
Yeah.
But what if we actually want to use the tool? We need the AI editor, or we want to try the fitness app. How do we armor ourselves? The research lays out a series of protective protocols, 7 pillars of protection. Let's break them down, starting with the actual payment methods we use.
The most effective technological defense you can deploy is the use of virtual or limited balance cards.
Virtual cards, how does that work?
You should never, under any circumstances, connect your main checking account or a primary high-limit credit card directly to an unknown digital trial. The risk is simply too high.
You're just giving them the keys to the vault.
Today, many major banks and financial apps offer the ability to instantly generate a temporary virtual credit card number directly on your phone.
I use these all the time.
They're fantastic. You can assign a specific hard limit to this virtual card, say $5. If you use this virtual card to sign up for a free trial, and the scammers attempt their silent strike 3 days later for $50, the transaction will simply fail.
Because the money just isn't there.
The funds aren't there, the virtual card declines the charge, and your primary checking account remains perfectly secure behind a firewall.
That is brilliant. It physically breaks the pipeline they try to establish. It starves the trap.
Okay, what about behavioral defenses? What can we do on our end?
You must externalize your memory. Do not trust yourself to remember to cancel.
Because you won't. I definitely won't.
The moment you sign up for a trial, before you even edit the photo or watch the movie, open the calendar app on your phone. Set a loud, unavoidable alarm for the day before the trial is scheduled to end.
Like, manually create an event. Name the event cancel, and then the app name. Let your phone do the work of reminding you. Furthermore, you must practice active statement vigilance.
Statement vigilance. Going through the bank app.
We discussed the danger of the $2 microcharge. The only defense against death by 1,000 cuts is to regularly check your bank notifications and your monthly statements. The golden rule is, never ignore small, unexplained deductions. Investigate every single one.
And we also need to talk about the infrastructure of how we pay for things now. We have Apple Pay, Google Pay, direct bank debits, and systems like UPI AutoPay. They make buying a coffee incredibly easy, but they also make getting scammed incredibly easy.
Exactly. Which brings us to the next pillar. You must regularly review your auto-pay mandates.
Where do we find those?
In many regions, the financial infrastructure allows users to grant standing mandates for recurring auto-debits directly through their banking app or digital wallet. You must make it a habit to log into your banking portals and physically review the mandates, subscriptions, or auto-pay sections.
Right, because sometimes you don't even see the charge. You just authorize the portal to pay it.
Look for hidden permissions or ongoing approvals to merchants you don't recognize or no longer use, and revoke them at the source.
I think of checking those auto-pay permissions, kind of like walking around your house and checking for open windows before you go to sleep.
That's a very good way to look at it.
It is just basic, essential hygiene. You shouldn't leave a window open for anyone to reach in. What about the cancellation process itself? Can we game their system?
Yes, through preemptive cancellation.
How does that work?
Well, you must understand the cancellation process before starting a trial. But here is a highly effective tactic. Often, you can sign up for a 7-day trial, hand over the data, and then immediately navigate to the settings and hit cancel.
Just do it right then and there.
Many legitimate apps, and even some of the shady ones, will still allow you to use the remaining 7 days of the trial period, even after you have successfully canceled the auto-renewal.
Because you're technically still in the trial period?
Right. Do it immediately while you're in the app, while the cognitive load is low, rather than waiting for day 6.
That is such a good hack.
Finally, stick to trusted apps and always read the fine print regarding the renewal policy and the auto-debit clause. You need to know the rules of the game they are playing.
Okay, so we have our armor. Virtual cards, calendar alarms, statement vigilance, locking down autopay, and preemptive cancellation.
We're well defended.
But let's acknowledge a very grim reality here. What if someone listening to this right now is having a sinking realization? What if they are mentally reviewing their credit card statement as we speak, and they realize they're currently bleeding $20 a month for a PDF converter they haven't opened since 2023.
It's entirely possible.
What are the immediate emergency action steps if you are already caught in the trap?
The research outlines a very specific sequential emergency protocol.
Okay, step 1.
If you discover an unauthorized subscription trap, you must act systematically to stop the bleeding and recover your funds. First, attack the source.
Go to the app.
Open the specific app or website and attempt to cancel the subscription directly through their interface, no matter how convoluted the maze is. Take screenshots of every screen, especially your cancellation confirmation if you manage to get one. You need a paper trail.
Right, proof that you actually did it.
Second, do not assume canceling in the app is enough. You must cut the supply line.
Cut the supply line.
Go to your bank, your credit card provider, or your digital wallet and actively revoke the auto-pay permission or mandate associated with that specific merchant.
Block them at the app, then lock them at the bank. Got it. What if the bank app doesn't let me revoke it easily? I've had that happen where the bank UI is just as bad.
Then you move to step 3, physical security.
Physical security.
If you cannot reliably revoke the mandate, or if the merchant seems particularly aggressive in trying to run the card, the research advises you to block or replace the physical credit or debit card itself.
Like cancel the card and get a new one mailed out.
Yes. It is incredibly frustrating to have to update your card information on Netflix and your utility bills, but getting a new card number permanently and irrevocably severs the scammer's access to your funds.
Sometimes you just have to nuke it from orbit.
Exactly. The fourth and final step is about recovering what you lost. You must raise a formal dispute with your bank and submit a refund request directly through the App Store like Apple or Google if the purchase was processed through their ecosystems.
Wait, let me ask a practical question about that last point. Is it really worth going through the hassle of raising a formal bank dispute?
I get asked this a lot.
You have to call the number on the back of the card, navigate the automated voice system, wait on hold for half an hour, explain the situation to an agent, and maybe fill out a digital form. If the charge was only $10, most people would just cancel a card, take the $10 loss, and write it off as a lesson learned. Why bother with the dispute?
I understand that impulse completely. Time is valuable. But I must reiterate a broader structural point found within the research. Yes, it is absolutely worth the hassle to dispute the charge.
Even for $10.
Even for $10. When you let a fraudulent charge slide because it is too small to worry about, you are directly validating and funding the scammer's entire business model. You are the data point that proves their system works.
You're funding the next trap.
Furthermore, you have to understand how the back end of the payment industry operates. When you dispute a charge with your bank, the bank doesn't just eat the cost, they issue a chargeback to the merchant.
A chargeback.
Payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, as well as platforms like Apple and Google, meticulously track the chargeback ratios of every merchant on their network.
Oh, so they keep score.
They absolutely keep score. If a shady AI photo app suddenly receives hundreds or thousands of chargebacks from angry users disputing $10 charges, it triggers massive internal alarms. If their chargeback ratio gets too high, the payment processors will freeze their funds, investigate them, and potentially ban the fraudulent company from their platforms entirely.
So it actually hurts them.
Your individual dispute is a crucial piece of data. It helps tear down the infrastructure of the fraud, poisoning their well and protecting everyone else.
That is an incredibly powerful point. It is not just about getting your $10 back. It is about actively fighting back. You are throwing sand in the gears of their operation on behalf of everyone else they are trying to scam.
It's collective defense.
Okay, let's bring this all together. We have covered a massive amount of ground today, pulling apart the architecture of these traps, exploring the digital minefields, diving deep into the psychology of countdown timers and dark patterns, and arming ourselves with virtual cards and emergency protocols.
We covered a lot.
If we have to synthesize this entire deep dive down to a single foundational lesson from the research, it is this. Free doesn't always mean free.
Never assume it does.
The word free should not be a signal for your brain to relax. It should be an immediate signal to raise your shields. Always, always check the auto-debit, renewal, and cancellation policies before you hand over the keys to your bank account to activate any online service.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of how we interact with technology, it becomes clear that these frauds are not exploiting technical vulnerabilities in our phones. They are exploiting psychological vulnerabilities in our minds.
They're hacking us, not the phone.
They rely entirely on our modern, deeply conditioned desire for seamless, instant convenience. They prey on our tendency to rush through digital roadblocks to get to the dopamine hit on the other side.
Just to get to the content.
Slowing down, reading the prompts, ignoring the artificial urgency, and applying deliberate friction to your own digital actions is your single best defense against these systems.
Slowing down. It is the absolute hardest thing to do when you have a smartphone in your hand, but it is the most important.
It really is.
I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over. We have spent this whole time talking about how these apps trick us into subscribing, the psychology of the lure, the invisible contracts. But I want you to think about your own phone right now,
Right,
your own digital life. If you were forced to sit down today, open your laptop, and go through your bank statement, line by line, transaction by transaction,
That's a scary thought for most people.
how many zombie subscriptions do you think you are paying for right now without even realizing it? How many ghosts are on your statement?
Probably more than you think.
Don't just wonder about it. The moment you finish listening to this, I strongly encourage you to go do an audit of your accounts. Find the ghosts, check the windows, make sure they are locked. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. See you next time.